And next we'll move on to, let's see, we have House File 1420 with Representative Hassan. The chair will move the bill before us and recommend that it be laid over for possible inclusion. Representative Hassan, it looks like you may have an amendment. Would you like to move the amendment?
Yes,
or
Madam.
would you like us to start by moving the amendment, I should say?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you.
All right, thank you. And with that, the chair moves the A1 amendment for consideration. Chair, Representative Hassan, would you briefly like to address the contents of the A1?
Yes, Madam Chair and members, thank you for the opportunity of hearing this bill today. The A1 amendment just puts the bill in a shape that the author, as well as the advocates that I've been working with, want. It changed a few things, and let me, I can pull up my screen. So there are 4 sections in the amendment. The first one requires the state adoption recruitment specialists to provide additional specific guidance to ensure that agencies focus on supporting relative caregivers and effective kin. And the second one creates foster care recruitment grants so that the community-based nonprofits, tribes, and other stakeholders with documented experience of working with families of color to recruit, engage, and support caregivers who are members of communities of color. And this is important when relatives and effective kin are an option to keep children within their community. The third one requires child-placing agencies to develop strategies to recruit and support relative caregivers and effective kin when possible, and then caregivers who are members of communities of color. And the final section is an appropriation for the grant of the program.
Okay, and I think we need to speak first to the A1. Are there any questions specific to the amendment from any of the members? Seeing none, we will vote on the amendment to move that. Members, please unmute yourselves. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, wonderful. Thank you. Then we will have the bill before us, House File 1420 as amended. Representative Hassan, would you like to speak to your bill?
Yes, Madam Chair. Again, thank you for the opportunity to present House File 1420, which is an act relating to human service, child protection, establishing additional relative foster care case management, licensing support, training services, and resources. We have a positive trend in Minnesota. Placement of children in need of foster care with kinship caregivers has increased significantly over the past years, with 2019 data reflecting 60.9% of days of care for Minnesota children in out-of-home placement being with kinship caregivers. This is good news. As we know, children statistically have better lifelong outcomes when placed with kin who they know and love, as they experience the most traumatic event of their life, which is an out-of-home placement. The challenge now is for Minnesota to shift our foster care system to reflect this positive trend in kinship placement and provide active support for kinship caregivers to have success in licensing, access to needed services for children, and most importantly, have the responsive support needed to provide loving parenting to kin children in their care. House File 1420 was designed by providers and advocates based on the increasing concern that kinship caregivers are too frequently lacking the basic support needed to be successful. Evidence of this is clear from the following: the increased number of disruptions of children who are being placed in new foster care homes due to kinship placement not working out. Community-based providers fielding frequent calls to for assistance from kinship caregivers seeking basic information and support to parent the children in their care in the absence of active licensing or case management support from counties. Family members who have been overlooked and told that they're ineligible for licensing, seeking support from a variety of sources as they are doing all they can to become the caregivers for their relative children. This data is not part of our child welfare dashboard, and it's very difficult to track. You have a kinship care community data handout in your packet with qualitative data collected by providers and advocates with greater context in this challenge. This is a system problem to deliver the specialized response support required by kinship caregivers as they receive relative children they had not planned to care for. We need to update our system and shift some of the burden from our county system to state support and to community-based providers who are by design oriented to respond to family needs. We have learned that the counties have some concerns with this language, and we're very happy to work with them in improving the language to address these concerns. Today, I have family members to share their experience, and Susanna Burns from Evolve Family Services, an expert in kinship caregiving to father, explained the need for this bill.
All right, thank you, Representative Hassan. As Representative Hassan mentioned, there are a number of pieces of written testimony and additional supporting materials in your packets. With that, I believe we do have 4 testifiers here for us today. I'll just kind of give the blanket reminder to our testifiers to please state your name for the record and name of your organization if appropriate. And we want to please try to limit ourselves to 2 minutes to make sure that we are able to hear from each of our testifiers and make sure that all of your voices are heard. With that, I believe the first on the list that I have today is Ms. Barnes from Evolve Family Services.
Good morning. My name is Susanna Barnes, and I am the Executive Director at Evolve Family Services. And I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to be connecting with you all today in support of House File 1420. After seeing underserved relative caregivers in our community and with the support of key county partners, Evolve shifted to focus specifically on kinship care beginning in 2016. Since then, we have served over 300 youth in relative placements and 219 relative families. 79% of the youth that we are serving are children of color, and 57% of our kinship caregivers are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. This disproportionate representation of children of color underscores an even greater importance in keeping children within their family systems, community, and culture of origin. Kinship families need responsive care and specialized support to meet licensing standards while actively caring for their relatives. Foster care licensing involves significant paperwork, background checks, trainings, home preparation, and a very invasive assessment process. There are lengthy procedures for requesting reconsideration around any issues with the potential to disqualify them. We have found through our work that supporting kinship families through licensing takes more than double the time of working with non-relative foster parents. Community-based organizations are well positioned to reduce barriers for relative caregivers. We hold smaller caseloads, allowing us to provide personalized care, meet with families multiple times per month, walk through paperwork together, assist through obtaining necessary resources, provide in-person care throughout the length of the placement, and work through concerns and crises as they arise. In response to family needs, we provide specialized trainings on the unique dynamics from shifting roles from grandmother to that of trauma-informed parental caregiving role. We provide support in navigating dynamics within larger family systems, as caregivers can be a vital resource in reunifying the children with their parents and preserving family relationships. As a result of this, families are having their needs met, getting resources established, and are better able to support the youth that are in their care. Through our in-depth work, we are seeing increased systemic challenges for kin. Counties are not set up consistently or equitably with resources around kinship care. Families often have to navigate on their own with little guidance or advocacy. In some cases, inadequate searches mean that relatives may never be engaged. Some relatives are even actively dissuaded from beginning the process, being told that they have barriers, when these are often issues that can be overcome with support. If the county won't consider them, they are left on their own. And without support, families may feel the process is insurmountable and give up. counties have cited reticence in working with private agencies related to concerns in their ability as the county to fund the work. And community-based organizations have expertise and ability, but lack funding to sustainably take on this work. Kinship care is a priority, and active support is needed to increase and sustain kinship families. This bill provides tangible resources to help our systems adapt, address barriers, and decrease the burden on counties while giving the family the option to seek services from qualified community-based providers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Barnes. And next on the list, I have Lucille OQuinn. Again, please state your name and any affiliation for the record.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Lucille OQuinn, who is aunt, licensed relative caregiver of two nephews, Dearius and Amir Baker. I'm here to support HF1420. My story began in 2017 when one of three of my nephews went into foster care with a white non-relative foster family. January 2019, my second nephew was born and placed with the same white non-relative family. I was able to be contacted in 2019, 2 years after my nephew had been with a non-relative provider. However, when I found out about the second baby was born by the bio parent, I made many attempts to contact county workers to be considered. Sad to say, when I was considered a placement option, my first nephew had already been adopted. In June, I began the licensing process, which wasn't easy because I had to give up a relationship with my vulnerable adult brother so that I could get through the requirements of licensing. Even after I was disqualified, it took me 4 months to hear back from the state about having to have a set aside without the help and support of the private agency that I'm dealing with now. I feel like I wouldn't have been approved right now today. After licensing, challenges still continue with nephew number 3 being born and placed in my care. The non-relative foster parent who adopted number 1 nephew continues to fight for both my nephews in my custody. She intervened on many court cases and also attempted to get my own children removed. Many times I felt like giving up, but this experience have also shown me why many families walk away from this process, because I have felt like that many times. I am thankful for the support that was available throughout the private agency I work with. The knowledge and extra resources to navigate throughout these challenges. Here I had the advice, input, and lean on the emotional support or even other additional resources to be a successful parent. Both being a licensed relative caregiver has brought lots of challenges. I am thankful that I had the support I needed. And most of all, I am thankful that I can keep my nephews in the African-American culture within our family system. For me, my story ends well. I will be adopting my 2 nephews in the next few months. However, I do know lots of families don't have resources and support to hold on to. Nevertheless, the scariest thing about being a foster parent is having to walk away from the support of the agencies who have been supportive to me throughout the last 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. OQuinn, and congratulations on your pending adoption. I know raising children is a bit of a labor of love, so thank you for rising to the challenge of caring for those little ones. I truly appreciate that. Next up, thank you. All right, next on our list, we have Ms. Reeves. Ms. Reeves? Do we have Ms. Reeves?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
All right. If you could just
Give me
state
a
your
second.
name.
I'm finna pull over and park because I was in transit the whole
All
time.
right. All right.
On.
Well, we want you to be safe.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
please,
I'm getting off the highway now. I'm pulling over.
All right. And when it's safe, if you want to, are you able to go, or should we move on to the next testifier and come back in a moment?
I am
Okay,
able and ready.
All right. Just want to make sure you're safe. All right,
Okay.
Ms. Reeves, if you'd
Let
like
me
to go
pull
ahead
up
and
my,
state your full name for the record and go ahead. And we are trying to keep it to 2 minutes to make sure that we're on task and make sure everyone gets heard.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Madam Madam Chair and members of the Chair Committee, my name is Geraldine Reeves, and I am a grandmother and was licensed relative caregiver for my 2 Native American grandchildren that were placed in the foster care system, ages 7 and 11. And I am here to support HF1420 because my story starts out when I found out that I had a 3-year-old grandchild in the foster care system. I didn't want my grandkids to be subjected to the system and that they needed to be with family. I had already raised all of my adult children, so making a decision to parent young kids again, that was a major adjustment for me. Even though I was never initially contacted for caregiver rights of my grandchildren, I made the decision to move back to Minnesota from Texas and figure out how to get my grandkids out the system. So when I first started this process, I was told I couldn't get licensed by the county, and I didn't accept no as an answer. So I Googled other agencies, and I found 3 of them, private agencies. 2 of them wanted me to pay, which I didn't have the finances for. And then I called Evolve, and Evolve contacted me and took me on as a client. And they agreed to help me to get licensed. They assisted me with licensing and advocating for my grandchildren to be placed in my care. And despite the system that was set up against me, I was able to overcome all of these obstacles and barriers that I found an agency that supported me. And that was very important in this process because, like Lucille, I became very overwhelmed with the process. And many occasions I said I was gonna just say, forget it, it wasn't worth it because of all the things I had to encounter and the negativity and adverse situations that came my way. I wasn't prepared for it. But because of Evolve, I had somebody there that would listen to me vent, assist me, and give me wise counsel and not what I wanted to hear at that time. So my grandkids were placed in my care as of April 12th of 2020 on Easter Sunday. And I worked with Evolve for 2 years. And once they moved in with me, it wasn't easy. That was just the beginning. And they needed many services and supports to be set up. And it was challenging to continue working with the county system and feel like my voice wasn't being heard. And throughout the challenges, I'm thankful that I always had someone I could call and ask questions, vent my frustrations to, and provide me with advice and assistance, setting up supports. Now that my grandkids are with family, I continue to keep them connected with their parents and our family culture. And thank you to Evolve and their outstanding support in my transition to being a foster parent and now as an adoptive parent as of November 17, 2020. Hallelujah. There needs to be more agencies like this to support and help families. I'm so thankful and grateful to Evolve. I thank you guys for putting this on your bill to revamp the system, whatever helps the kids, because they are our future. And I'm just thankful and grateful that I made it. I'm a survivor.
Thank you, Miss Reeves. And, well, first of all, congratulations on the adoption and for the courageous effort. I think there's nothing better than kiddos knowing that someone is not only in their corner, but willing and ready to fight for them. And I am certain that your grandchildren will certainly appreciate that as the path continues. So thank you for all of that. With that, we do have one last testifier, Ms. Hennen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Stacey Hennen. I'm the Human Services Director at Grant, Pope, and Traverse counties. I'm also the Legislative Chair for the Minnesota Association of County Social Services Administrators, representing Human Services Directors in all 87 counties. Max Values Relatives is a critical resource for the children and families that we serve. For many reasons, including racial and cultural reasons, it's imperative that children are placed with a relative or kin whenever possible. Minnesota Statute 260C.221 requires that the responsible social services agency conduct relative searches. The state standard for relative placements is 35.7%, and Minnesota's performance in 2020 was 67.5%. The rate of relative placements has increased over the years. It demonstrates county's commitment to search for and identify relatives as foster care options, as well as permanency options for children when necessary. MAGSA does believe that relative foster care providers would benefit from additional support if additional funding becomes available. MAGSA supports the state taking advantage of federal resources made available to support and build out a statewide kinship program. Counties also support the grants proposed in the A1 amendment with the goal of recruiting and supporting prospective foster families and adoptive families who are members of communities of color and reflect the racial and ethnic background of the population of children experiencing out-of-home placement in Minnesota. However, MAGSA is opposed to the legislation as drafted, which would require counties to refer relatives to a private community organization for licensing support, training, and case management services. The bill as designed creates significant negative impacts on counties regarding relative search and placement work currently underway. Throughout and after the work group Aspire convened on this topic, counties have provided feedback to Aspire expressing our concerns. Those concerns are not reflected in the current language. The proposal as written is not always feasible and is not financially viable for counties. Private agencies charge counties administrative rates on top of the foster care cost of the child per placement, and those rates range from approximately $28 to $75 per day per child. This bill also puts counties outside of the metro in a vulnerable position because private community-based organizations are not readily available in outstate Minnesota to provide the required services and contracts, or the services and contracts required by this bill. Creating a requirement for something that doesn't exist statewide with no plan for how to build it out and then asking counties to pay for it is not only a burden, but an unrealistic expectation and distraction for counties from the work that statistics show we're currently doing and improving on all the time. Thank you for allowing me to testify on this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Hennen. And Representative Hassan, I know that you briefly addressed this earlier, but perhaps you might have some additional comments you'd like to add.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank Ms. Stacey for her testimony. We are more than happy to work with the counties, like I said in my opening statement, to figure out a way to better this bill and to make sure that it can do what it needs to do and not put a burden on the counties. I used to be a social worker. I used to be a child protection social worker, and I, firsthand know the disparities, the inequities that exist in the system. So we are not trying to, put a burden on the counties, but what we're trying to do is do what's best for the children. And what's best for the children is A, being placed with their relative and kin when being placed in foster care, and B, we need to support those families because they're all of a sudden raising, as you heard the testimony, one day you find out that your, relative child needs, somebody to care for them. That was not in your plan, just like the grandmother who raised her own children and now is raising her grandchildren. We need to have a plan to support those families, to provide them an easy process to license, as well as case management and support, continuous support. So we're more than happy to work with the counties. Ms. Burns, do you have anything to add to that?
Ms. Burns.
Yes, I would just agree that I think there's certainly ability to work on the language of the bill. And I think the key piece is creating the option for families, not necessarily a mandatory referral, but the option for families to be able to utilize private organizations, particularly in circumstances when the county has indicated that they're perhaps not willing or unable to serve the family.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. Certainly, I appreciate, and I know we're all on the same page and wanting to do what's absolutely best for our kiddos, and it's very clear from the testifiers, both for and against, that is in fact the mission, and that we're all working toward the same goal. So, thank you for that. Do we have any questions from members for Representative Hassan? For any of our testifiers? And I do know we also have with us today available for questions Ms. Boo from NACAC. We have Ms. Anderson from Aspire Minnesota, as well as a host of folks from the Children and Family Services and Child Safety and Permanency for questions. Any? Well, apparently Representative Hassan has done such a great job by not seeing any questions. That being the case, Representative Hassan, would you like to have just a brief moment to kind of make some closing remarks?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members, for indulging this conversation with me. This is an important conversation. It's about what's best for our young children. It's about equity, and as we know, Minnesota, when we look at equity, those numbers are always heartbreaking to look at. That we are not serving, Black communities, Indigenous communities, and communities of color. So with that, I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Hassan. And with that, the chair will move that House File 1420 be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you, Representative Hassan.